Oh yeah, that was I'm being followed by a moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm being followed by a moon shadow. Yeah. That's what that song was. I love it. Cat Stevens, one of my old favorites. I'm being followed by a moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Let me just take a look at this mic here. Okay. I can see it. Hello out there in video land. Everything looks good this morning on a Monday morning after the weekend. Lots of stuff going on the weekend. Lots of stuff to talk about. Yeah. So we're going to do that here on Manic Monday on Your City, Your Voice, 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, of course. My name is Paul K. Lemire, host of the show. Been doing it for 2 years, actually. I actually wanted to announce my 2 year anniversary here. It was, I think, around September 4th, and I missed it. But yeah, September 4th, we started just after Labor Day. And getting in time for 2 months before the election that year. It was 2 years ago. We elected our city council members, and yeah, stay tuned because the anniversary also marks when we give them our 2 year scores. That's right. We graded them at 100 days. We graded them at 1 year, and now we're going to grade them at 2 years. So stay tuned for that. Now, what's been going on here? First of all, we got to announce my sponsors, right? Of course, we always announce my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and great news, I have a new sponsor. I love it. I love having new sponsors. Let's talk about their business. So I'll give you the lowdown on the latest one. The latest Your City, Your Voice sponsor is Victoria Pete's Pizza. So Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue in Niagara Falls. Now, if you haven't tried this pizza, you may want to give it a shot. It's very good. Of course, I am a pizza guy, so everybody who knows me knows I'm a pizza guy, and I always am looking for a decent pizza. And yeah, I tried Pete's Pizza, and it was very good. I give it up in the high sevens. Man, oh man. I talked to Mike. He's the owner of it, and he wanted to work with Your City, Your Voice. And I said, "Well, I got to like your pizza first," and I do. So I can truthfully say I do like it. Now, Mike worked in an Italian restaurant for 15 years, so that's a good thing. And of course, using the recipe from the Mancini family, Reno, I know him, right? Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue uses only the best mozzarella, and he mixes it with brick cheese. That's something I do at home when I make my own pizza, so that's fantastic. When he makes a pizza, he makes the perfect ratio of sauce and cheese. So the cheese doesn't overwhelm the sauce, and of course, there's enough cheese on it to deal with the sauce. So it's great. The sauce is very good, made an old Mancini family recipe, and I like it because the pizza has cornmeal on the bottom. That's one of my things. I love cornmeal on the bottom of a pizza, and as a matter of fact, that's what I look to when I'm having a pizza. I like to see that cornmeal on the bottom. So fantastic. But it doesn't stop there at Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. They have steak subs, they have subs, they have panzerotti, they have poutine, all kinds of poutine, plus other dishes. So they're not just a pizza joint; they have a lot of different things there. And the first thing I said, like, I never buy a pizza going in myself. I do it on the sly, so they don't know I'm in there giving it a try. And Liz goes down, and she said the pizza came out of an oven, so that's a good thing too. So you can grab all that at Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. So that's the one you want to go to, the one on Victoria Avenue. Say hi to Mike while you're there. And the dough is also a Mancini family recipe, so they use a great dough for it as well. Very good dough. Now, by the way, they're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. So to the end of the year, they've got a tremendous pizza deal running. 2 medium pizzas with 3 toppings for only $25. Now, $25 for 2 medium pizzas with 3 toppings. I got to order this, and I'm going to freeze one because, coming out of the out of the cold fridge test, that's what I call it. I eat it the next morning cold. I don't know about anybody else with pizza. That's what I do. That's why I like it. And this thing passed with flying colors. So now I'm gonna get 2 of these for $25. I'm gonna throw one in the freezer, and then when I feel like having pizza, all I do is just pull out a couple pieces, throw them in the toaster oven because they're frozen. I can't eat them cold when they're frozen, and I'm good to go. So there you go. There's a tremendous deal, and that goes right to the end of the year. And that's a deal that's hard to beat, to tell you the truth. Now, Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza is located at 4914 Victoria Avenue in Niagara Falls. You can call 905-374-2222 or order online at petespizzavictoria.ca. You can order right online, nice and easy. Call today. And also, a note Mike wanted me to let you know about is their new extended hours. So now they're open Sunday to Thursday until midnight and Friday and Saturday till 2 a.m. for your convenience. So, you're watching something or you're doing something, you come home from a night out of having a little bit of what? And guess what? You're a little bit hungry? Hey, you can stop at Pete's Pizza. They're open. And you know what? There aren't a lot of places that are open that late at night. So this could be your go-to for late night pizza. I know that's where I would go for sure. So thank you very much to Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue. Mike is the proprietor, for coming aboard on the sorry about that, hit the microphone, on the Your City, Your Voice train here. We look forward to working with you in the next few months to advertise and market your pizza shop, Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue. Give it a shot. Go on to Restaurant Reviews Niagara, do a review. Let me know how you like it. And thank you very much for sponsoring us, Mike. And thank you very much to our viewers for supporting the show. These are the guys that support having this show on the air every day. Thank them. Support our sponsors. And we'll talk about Wild Bill's and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting later on in the show. Welcome aboard Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. What a wacky weekend. Rain, sun, damp, chilly, wind, you name it, we got it all. But the song remains the same. The sun did stay out long enough for a beautiful, beautiful day for the Mojito contest. The biggest mojito in the world, Havana Restaurant down in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, right down in Queen Street. They set out to set a Guinness Book of World Record, biggest mojito. Now, there was a place in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic that had the record at 3,100 liters or something. That's nothing. We're in Niagara Falls. That's nothing. The Havana Restaurant over here got this giant sized glass, put it out front, closed the street down, and I can't give you the number of bottles of rum and everything else, but they loaded this baby up. And when it was finished, it was 4,500 liters, beating the former record by 1,000 liters. And they had people dancing on the street. They had all kinds of activities on Saturday from around noon to 5 o'clock. What a fantastic day. They beat the record. I wish I could tell you how many bottles of rum, but I can't tell you how many bottles of rum because I don't know. I really don't know how many bottles of rum. But it was a lot. Let me put it that way. Hundreds, maybe 100. I don't know. I mean, 4,500 liters, you got to put a lot of rum and a lot of soda and a lot of mint in there to make that little baby. But at the end of the day, they did do it. They filled it up. And you know what? After that, they actually sold a mojito out of there for $3. And that's not bad for a mojito, right? So what a great day. Everybody was up to the thing drinking it. I think they looked like they knocked off half of it by the time some of the day was over, but that's a lot of mojito. But congratulations to Havana Restaurant. Great restaurant here. They have a song dance, all Cuban. I got to get in there for a Cubano sandwich because that's my favorite. I'm going to go in and get one time and have it in there. And then I'm going to have a mojito too. I like caipirinhas better than mojitos. They're like kind of the same thing, but they're different. But anyway, I'm going to go. I got to have a Cubano sandwich. I love it. Congratulations to these guys. They just 1 year in Niagara Falls down in Queen Street. Go down there and support them. have something to eat. Check out their shows; they're fantastic. They've got all the dancers and the Latino dancers and everything Cuba. And they've been doing this a while. I think the husband of the husband and wife own it. The husband worked or owned the Mojito house for a while before he opened this place downtown. So it's beautiful. It's decorated like Havana. You look at it; it's got the colors of Cuba. It's really neat. Congratulations to them. Another big event in the city: Heaters Heroes. And of course, that's a yearly thing. And it looked like it was well attended to me. I didn't go, but it looked well attended. Congratulations to Councillor Mike Strange, who has run it in honor and memory of Heater Lavelle. I don't know if you knew Bobby Lavelle. Heater, they called him. Great guy. He did so much for the city, baseball and NHL slow pitch tournaments. This guy was fantastic. Did a lot for the city. Passed on, and Councillor Mike Strange started up this Heaters Heroes to help kids with cancer. And the community comes together at Oaks Park. And Mike calls it kind of a mini Make-A-Wish. They raise, $25,000-$30,000 or more, and they don't donate the money to the children, Heaters Heroes children, and each one of the Heaters Heroes gets a lap around Oaks Park of their family and friends all around them as they go around the park, and it's like a big beautiful thing. The money can be used for whatever the child wants. They give them around $1,500 to $2,000, according to Mike, and they can go in staycations, Great Wolf Lodge, or whatever the kids want. If they want a set of drums, whatever, they give them the money to help them to buy that. And congratulations to Councillor Strange, the heroes, the volunteers, and all the people involved in this yearly tradition in Niagara Falls. And if you remember last year, it was the culmination of a run that Councillor Strange and Councillor Peter Angelo did along the Bruce Trail from Tobermory right down to Oaks Park. They ran the whole thing and ended up at Oaks Park for the Heaters Heroes celebration. So just a fantastic thing. I think it was that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. My memory, it was either that or Canada Day, but I don't know. I just got it. No, it wasn't Canada Day. That's at Fireman's Park. So it was Heaters Heroes. But what a great day in Niagara Falls. They have live bands there. They have all kinds of stuff going on. Bouncy castles for the kids. It's a big deal in Niagara Falls. In relation to that too, I just want to say, as much as we want to cure childhood cancer, get a cure for cancer, we also want to take steps to prevent cancer. So we can't forget about that. And of course, we want to prevent cancer, especially in the industrialized Northeast, because we're here and we're in lands that have been industrial, so a lot of them are contaminated, and we have to make sure we're cleaning them up so that when people buy them and families are raised in them, we don't end up with another Love Canal with kids getting cancer from the chemicals in the ground because we didn't do our job to clean it up. So I always mention that along with great events like Heaters Heroes, just to make people aware that prevention is the best medicine. We like to prevent it. And the way you prevent it is making sure that the air is clean and the water is clean and the land is clean and that all these brownfields that we take over are cleaned up. And as much as Councillor Strange and Peter Angelo and the rest of the councils attend this and enjoy it and really, really help out to make it a great event, we also want to be on the preventative side too and make sure that they look at and take care of these brownfields and these places like the Cyanamid and that, and ensure, not just look at them, but ensure they're clean enough to live on so we don't have another Love Canal. And we want them cleaned up. And I just, I implore them to take a look at all this when they see Mike Cushman or Gary Wilkins talking about it. They take a walk with them. They can show them where this is, understand it. And then you've got both sides covered. You've got the prevention covered with all your great events that you run. And then you've got the prevention covered, right? So you want to cure it, but you want to prevent it in the first place. So, take that. Now, thanks to Bill Sawchuk for the great article about Heaters Heroes event in the Standard. And he's the one who covered the event. So good for him. Thank you, Bill Sawchuk, and thank you, Counselor Strange, and the rest of the counselors that were there, and all the people and volunteers that supported this great project. Okay. Okay. I was watching, I'm really watching a lot of documentaries and interesting articles, videos about the homeless. Um, there's a huge problem with homelessness, drug abuse, substance abuse for that matter, and mental illness, and it's not getting any better. So we have to start looking for ways to deal with it outside of the ways that we've been dealing with it for the last 20 years because it isn't helping any what we've been doing. So on that note, I, uh, I s- I saw a really good video and I read an article in the review. I think it was about encampments, and they wanna have sanctioned encampments, and they're starting this in Hamilton. And a lot of people don't like it because they're saying they're segregating a certain part of the population and that kind of thing. Because people don't want them in, not in my backyard syndrome and all that. But a lot of experts now are saying this is the best way to deal with the problem because when the homeless are spread out through a city, I mean, we see them. They're down on Bridge Street. They're over here. They're over there. They're on Queen Street. They're here. They're out in McLeod Road. They're in the south, north, east, west, way, every part of the city they're in. And it's very, very hard for workers to be able to deal with the problem when they're so spread out. It's hard to find these people sometimes. When you have them in one area, that's made for what they're doing, whether it be tents or small houses, depending on which way they go with housing these people. It's a lot easier for the people who provide services for them, whether it's mental health, rehab, food, shelter, refreshment centers, 24-hour kind of watching the encampment. So if there is a problem that breaks out, they can get in there with naloxone or with anything that they need. They're right there, and they can deal at it on that level in a area that's contained. So it's not that they're trying to segregate them from the rest of society. It's they want to keep them together to give so they can service them better, and they want to keep them together so they can transition them better, because the object always is, although it's a failing thing right now, is to rehabilitate these people and train them to be able to live on their own outside of these encampments and get into an apartment or something. They know they need to be taught again the basics because they've been on the street so long. And that's why we have the Wayne Campbell Center, to be able to work with these transitions, get them into a setting where they're in an apartment, show them how to run the apartment and run their lives, and then move them to a place where they're living on their own. So that's what it's all about. Um, I know a lot of people are yelling and screaming about these things, but that seems to be one of the ways that it works. And if you watch a lot of documentaries, I've been watching a ton trying to figure out what exactly has to be done. Um, they're going to try it in Hamilton. Andrea Horwath has proposed the so-called sanctioned encampments. And I've repeatedly said that what they're doing now isn't working. We've seen the problem get worse, not better. Of course, COVID was a really big trigger, when people started losing their jobs, not having enough money to pay rent, and ending up on the streets. There's more and more of them getting addicted to drugs and that kind of thing. And I think this is maybe a way to go. And if it isn't the perfect way to go, it may be one answer to it. And I think that we'd be remiss if we didn't try it because, like I said, what we're doing now isn't working. And I've watched many documentaries, like I said, and all of them are starting to come to the same conclusion. Enabling people with safe injection sites, free needles, and even giving them drugs is not helping the problem. It's just making it worse. So I think that any kind of help has to come with a condition attached, that the goal of helping them is not to give them free drugs or needles or safe injection centers. It's to get them out of that habit. It's to get them rehabbed. And I think that's got to be a condition to all of this. Yes, you can do this, but you're going to have to be here for so much time to be able to get these other services. And that's the way you get people to do things. You offer them something that will trigger them or force them to do something else that's good for them. And I think that's the way you got to do it. It's not easy. I saw one guy who runs a mission in the Kensington area of Philadelphia, which is called an open air market, maybe the worst in the country. Says it takes 17 tries before a person can get on the right path. And I mean, of course, a lot of them die before they hit the 17th try. And I was talking about this on my show where there was a woman who was addicted to fentanyl laced with tranquilizer. That's the new thing on the street, I guess, Trank it's called. And she was coherent talking to the guy interviewing her. And he does documentaries and YouTube videos and stuff. And then she went and did whatever she did, and she came back and like she was wiped out, zombied. And she was laying on the ground, and this guy jumped up and said, "Hey, is she all right? Is she all right?" And the people who are around there know this stuff and know how it works, so they go, "Yeah, she's fine. She's going to be fine. She's breathing and everything." But there's a big problem with Trank in there because it actually slows down the breathing, slows down the heart rate. It's a tranquilizer for horses that they mix in. So Buddy Osborne, he runs the Rock Ministries, and that's in Kensington and Philadelphia. And I saw a great documentary with him, and he helps everybody. And his thing is the same as Mark Leiter, I think his name is. He says the problem starts when they're growing up. They're kids, no fathers, home without a father, and mother working, or mother addicted to drugs herself. And they end up on the street. So we've got to change the whole attitude. And Buddy Osborne not only wanders around Kensington, he's an ex-boxer, helping people, but he also in his ministry takes in kids and gives them an opportunity to learn boxing. He's got a boxing ring to work out, learn some boxing, to play basketball, and just do a lot of training, skipping or whatever, that kind of thing, right? But getting them off the street and into something. And of course, it all starts with a sit down in his ministry talking about God and finding Jesus and knowing Jesus. And I know for people who aren't religious, it's kind of but it seems to be working. He's having great success on the streets with it. And he's getting these kids in there, 40, 50 kids. He's running a lot of people through there, these kids, and helping them out and keeping them in school and letting them find religion as a crutch when they get weak, have somebody to lean on, pray to, if you will. So it's a really, really interesting thing. And they're trying to clean up this open air drug market and get this back, Kensington back, gentrified, if you will, bring back people down in that area, living there with restaurants and good things and getting people, working people that set a good example for the kids, rather than drug dealers who drive around in fancy cars and flashing money and big rings and chains, but have no future. Have no future. These kids need somebody to look up to that's a good role model, rather than the drug dealers, because they have no fathers. A lot of them, the fathers, nobody knows who they are, or they're in jail, and the mother's addicted herself. So they're new ideas, and they're not going to be easy. But at the end of the day, having the homeless wandering the streets, all in one area, is far safer for their community, rather than just being all over the city. Having them together, and it gives them all the resources they need, all in one place, and to help them out. So I think our city should begin that. I think they should be a designated place, Swatchaland, a designated place where they have to be. If they're anywhere else, they get moved there. And they just get told, you cannot do that here, but there is a place for you, with refreshment centers. And by refreshment centers, they're talking showers, bathrooms, that kind of thing. And they have 24/7 people there to help them break their addiction. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. And like people say we don't want to segregate anybody, but there's got to be a better way, and that appears to be a way that may work. What the heck? We might as well give it a try. We got nothing to lose. We had nothing to lose. So, what do you guys think? Is that a possible way to go? Well, let me know. Give me a message when the YouTube video comes up. Comment on it. Let's see what you think out there. And I wish there was some kind of a poll or something like that people, when they put these polls on the city website, I wish there was a poll where people could actually comment on it and give their opinion on what they think we should do, because whatever we're doing now isn't working. We have to come up with new innovative ideas. Andrea Horwath, mayor of Hamilton, seems to be looking towards this. It's something. Now I got to get into my second sponsor, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. So we're looking out there. It's a cloudy day. It could rain again today. It's been chilly in the mornings. We know what's coming, right? We know. So does your car. Your car. I was talking to my buddy, Tony Nero, and he said, I think there's something wrong with my car. And I go, what's the matter? All my tires are showing low. And I go, Tony, it's only because that it's cold outside and the air contracts, and it's probably they're contracting enough to set off all your sensors on your car. So that's probably what's happening. But you want to make sure your car's running right. So you take it to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop on Oakwood Drive by the Kia dealership, and you let Ken Hunter take a look at your car. He's going to plug your car into his diagnostic equipment. He's going to look for any problems, correct them for you, show you what they are, and then ultimately fix them before winter so you don't get broke down. You need your oil change. You need your winter tires on. You got to have your brakes checked out to make sure they're working fine. No seized calipers that are going to cost you thousands of dollars down the road. Now, you want to make sure all that's right. He's going to check out all your systems, your fluids, the whole thing, wiper blades, your heating system, the whole shot gets checked out, and make sure it's perfect. Then you don't break down, especially when you get caught with your pants down. And when that is, the first day of snow, everybody's running to see Ken. Well, don't be like that. Don't be reactive. Be proactive. Get your car in there before the rush. Get it all checked out. Everything's nice. You're set for winter. No problems, no breakdowns. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, by the Kia dealership. Ken Hunter is the proprietor. Tell him Paul from your city, your voice sent you. You'll be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. We thank him for sponsoring the show. Moving on. Well, here we are, Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, but Niagara Falls has been called tacky, a honky-tonk, a ripoff, a tourist trap, carnival-like. I call it a circus, with Mayor Jim being the reigning ringmaster. Niagara on the Lake refers to Niagara Falls tourists as people wearing white t-shirts with mustard stains on them. You can always tell a Niagara Falls tourist, they say. Well, you know what? We've been trying to shed that image for a long time. But now some marketing people are saying we should embrace the image. We should tell people it's a carnival down here. Come on down and enjoy it. You're going to have a great time. And I don't know, local tourism officials and leaders aren't so sure this is an image they want to embrace. But but I don't know, this is some kind of a marketing thing that somebody came up with and saying embrace the tacky. Embrace it. I mean, there's some places that are tourist draws that they get thousands of people every day, and they tell them it's the most boring thing ever. Some caves somewhere or some attraction, and people go anyway. They don't care. They want to go see what they're talking about. Well, Janice Thompson, Niagara Falls tourism president, says we really do not need this kind of definition. They're all getting mad. We're a bona fide tourist destination, and we don't have to create artificial demand to generate attention. Okay, Mayor Jim, did you hear that? He never knew that because he pumped up the eclipse to emergency situation levels. Over 1 million people. But that's part of the honky-tonk, fabricated part of the legend of Niagara Falls. Thompson also said their marketing strategy is to focus on the consumer interests that do exist that are aligned with the quality experiences offered in Niagara Falls. And I have to agree with her on that. We do offer a lot of quality stuff in Niagara Falls. I mean, yeah, we have the museums and all that, but we also offer The falls. How about that? The falls themselves, the wineries, the Butterfly Conservatory, the Rankin Power Station, Table Rock, hornblower tours, casinos, entertainment complexes, the immense historical value of this area, the War of 1812, and the exhibits that showcase that history. Not to mention a lot of quality hotels and restaurants in this city. I mean, we have a lot to offer outside of that honky tonk image that they're talking about. But the honky tonk is fun too. People enjoy the goofy wax museums, the upside down house, carnival with a Ferris wheel, neon signs and lights, fireworks displays. But that just adds to the Niagara Falls experience, and it is an experience when you come here. There's lots to do. When you go to different places, like you go to Vegas, if you think you're going to go to Vegas for 2 or 3 days and experience Vegas, like all of Vegas, forget about it. It'd be 2 or 3 weeks. There is so much to do there. And I think that when I sit here in this chair and talk about Niagara Falls, you forget about what a great city it is, and imagine it. Just take yourself out of living here and seeing the day-to-day nonsense that we see. But imagine coming to Niagara Falls for your first time and going down Clifton Hill and going to the falls and seeing the falls, and then wandering around and seeing casinos and lights and hotels and great restaurants, and all these different opportunities to experience butterflies and everything else. It's an amazing experience, and that's not to mention all the different wineries and the historical significance of Niagara Falls in Queenston and Fort Erie and Niagara on the Lake. I mean, this is stuff that if any history buff comes here, they could spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month just going to these places of important battles about the history of our country and the kind of the history of the United States as well, and Britain and France and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, we kind of miss that part of it, right? And I would say that we're kind of jaded because we live here. But if we were coming here for the first time, I'm imagining it in my mind how jazzed out I would be to come here. It would be like when I went to the wharf in San Francisco. You go down there, there's all these boats and restaurants, and there's a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum there. Then you take a boat to Alcatraz, and there's these great seafood restaurants down there, and all kinds of stuff going on. Or if you go to Atlantic City, you got the boardwalk, you got the ocean, you got great restaurants, saltwater taffy, all the experiences of being on that boardwalk in Atlantic City. You walk around looking around, your eyes are wide open, trying to catch everything for the time you're there. And that's basically what people do when they come here. We just don't forget. We forget about that because we're right in the middle of it here. I remember going to Vegas back in the 70s. I mean, you talk about honky tonk. That was pretty honky tonk. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. But that's what attracts you to it. The casinos, the glitzy casinos. All casinos are the same. Once you walk through the front doors and you get the experience of the outside, the fountains and volcanoes and the castle and the pyramid and New York, New York. Once you walk in, it's like walking in the casino, Fallsview Casino. It's a gambling floor with slot machines. That's what it is. No more, no less. That's what it is. And at the end of the day, that's what you got. So, but if you get outside of Vegas, I mean, you got Red Rock, the Red Rock Canyon, you got the Hoover Dam, you got Lake Mead, you've got, Laughlin, Nevada's right there, Arizona's right there, the Grand Canyon. I mean, there's tons of stuff to do there. You can't do it all. So I think that the honky tonk, I'm not sure if they should really concentrate on that so much. But definitely, it's part of what the experience of Niagara Falls is, and we can't ignore it. It's not going to go away. It's been here since I've been born, anyway. And to be honest with you, I think it'd be a riot to go down there and experience some of this stuff. That's just as a tourist, right? So, yeah, we're going honky tonk, and now they want to make it the music capital of the world, and they want to make it this and that. And, I mean, all these ideas are good. all these ideas are good. Whether they come to fruition, we see a lot of proposals in Niagara Falls. There was Vadaland, and there's all these, and then Canada's Wonderland and type of thing. And we see a lot of these come and go because they cost a lot of money, and people have big ideas, but they very very seldom come to fruition. So, but yep, honky tonk would fit. Honky tonk would fit. Anyway, over to a mystery. Like whatever happened to. I always do this. Whatever happened to, because I read stories about somebody figuring it all out or whatever. But the one I was reading this weekend, I saw this weekend, was an interesting documentary, or a YouTube documentary anyway, about Malaysia MH370, the plane that crashed. Well, then they don't know what happened to it. I shouldn't say it crashed; it just disappeared. It disappeared into thin air after taking off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia, headed to Beijing, China. It did a couple of dipsy doodles, and the plane headed out over the Indian Ocean, off course, and disappeared forever, never to be found. So it's been 10 years, and they still haven't really found anything of the plane, a couple of pieces, but, like they could have been from other planes too. They don't know. At least to this point, they found nothing. No direct evidence was ever found except some, these small pieces, like I said. And but then again, who knows if they're even from that 370? For some, the answer was pilot suicide. The pilot took over and crashed it on purpose, a terrorist act, if you will. And the fact that there's no information coming from the U.S. is strange too, because the U.S. they do a lot of stuff covertly. They have satellites that scan the Earth, all parts of the Earth, especially troubled areas like China, the Middle East, the Ukraine, Russia. All these places. Wherever there's trouble, they have these satellites that are scanning it. So if anything would have exploded in that, they probably would have caught it. But they're keeping it up. They're keeping it quiet. Whatever happened. But here's a couple things that are unusual. And one of them was the passenger list. 2 Iranians that were using stolen passports were on the plane, and they were never looked at. Also, there were 20 Freescale Semiconductor employees. Now, this is a US-based company, and they're all on one flight, which is strange for a company to have 20 of their best people on one flight. And a part of the fire system from a 777 was found. And they found it because once the fire retardant is out of it, it's able to float. It's hollow. Now, they're thinking that batteries were put into this plane in the cargo hold and rigged to catch fire, which forced the pilot to descend because he had to provide oxygen for the passengers, right? And anything above 10,000 feet doesn't work. So he descended to a low level and flew at that low level to whatever he was up to. There were AWACS in the area, and it's possible the AWACS took over the plane, and the plane taken to some base somewhere near the Maldives. This isn't out of the question for the plane to be commandeered by AWACS and using remote control to take the plane where they wanted. The U.S., that is, because the AWACS are U.S. planes. And all of this was the result of a discovery of 2 videos that were found, a video from a satellite and a video from a drone that was following the flight. In the and there's 3 orbs kind of circling around these planes. They look like balls, but they were displaying anti-gravity features because there was no engines on them. They weren't burning any engines or anything like that. So they're pretty weird. And these 20 people who were working for Freelander were actually working on technology for anti-gravity. Interesting. Yeah, and all the evidence in the case: a low-flying plane spotted by a fisherman, a plane on fire, smoke coming out of the back of the plane on satellite images, and of course, if it was smoky in the plane, they would exhaust it through the air conditioning vents, and there would be a smoke trail behind it. And basically, they're thinking that this was an act that was deliberate. The plane was basically hijacked, but not by terrorists, by the United States. And these people flown to somewhere, and these Freelander employees offloaded to develop this anti gravity or whatever. Um, but nothing's proven. This is just theory that this is one of the things that could have happened. Nothing's settled, but with all the evidence, this could be a probable explanation. I mean, after 10 years, they haven't found anything. And of course, the exact location of the plane and its occupants aren't known. It was said to go somewhere by the Maldives. In that area there, that's where it ended up. So it's just a really wacky mystery. And of all these theories about the hijacking and taking it and getting these 20 employees to work on anti gravity and all these other stuff, people on the inside are saying this. A crash is still a definite possibility, and the immensity of the Indian Ocean is just one of those things. They're never going to find this thing. It's just but it's really weird. Usually, planes when they crash, they leave oil slicks, they leave debris floating, like that fire system, and things like that. And there's just nothing really found. So it's a real mystery. Still a mystery, and we can't discount this kind of stuff. These covert operations where they're hijacking stuff, hijacking people, killing people, they happen. They're real life. And it's not that hard today with the technology. Drones could be flown easily. A plane could be turned into a drone and flown into buildings. Don't discount anything in today's world. I want to talk about my third sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. If you've ever gone into a neighborhood at night and you've seen a house lit up just beautifully, and you go, wow, does that ever look nice? It's probably Hamilton Glowstone Lighting who's been at that house and installed the track lighting, and it's invisible, so you only see it at night when it lights up, basically. And it's all matching all the decor of the eaves and everything, so it fits right in. You don't even see it in the daytime, but at night is when it does its work. And they're all installed in tracks. So the tracks are installed in zones. So you can have like red here, white here, green there, blue there. You can do all colors of the rainbow, and it's all run by your phone. You go into your phone, you set your zones, the colors you want, and bang, it goes on, and that's it. Now, they're all attached together. The joints are all soldered. They're not plugs. They don't plug in. They're soldered, and they're sealed. And the lights in these seals are impervious to dust, dirt, and moisture. So basically, these lights are so good. They're LED lights, low cost. Not going to run up your hydro bill, these lights, that they give you a lifetime warranty on it. So imagine at Christmas, red and green. Canada Day, red and white. Halloween, all orange. Your house all orange. St. Patrick's Day, your house all green. You name it, you can pick the color and have it run on your phone. So who does this wonderful magic? Well, it's Colin Buckborough, the owner of Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And if you're interested in it and you want to get a price on this fantastic lighting, hey, no more up and down ladders, no more falling and breaking your neck, no more out there in the winter freezing your hands and coyones off. No. They work winter, summer, spring, fall. Doesn't matter. They work. That's all there's to it. Colin Buckborough, that's who you got to call at 289-969-1797. Now, Colin's going to come to your house, give you a quote, and if you really want to Griswold your house, he can do it all. He can do it all. Front yard, backyard, everything. He can do it all. And it's more than you thought you wanted to spend. Well, you can put it on approved credit. On approved credit, you can get it financed. So you can do it and pay a small amount every month. No problem. They got it all there. It's really easy. Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. You call Colin Buckborough at 289-969-1797. Have him come down. It increases the value of your house. You put these on when people are coming to look at your house when you're selling it. Guess what? Bang! No more light. Oh, thank God! Thank God! I got the lights built in. The best thing ever. And he's going to come down to take care of you. If you want to see his work, just go to glowstonelighting.com, glowstonelighting.com, and he's going to come out and give you a quote for free, and you're going to be able to see his work at that gallery at that glowstonelighting.com. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. He'll be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. Yeah. Now, you know what? I mean, this pride thing and this gay agenda and everything else that people talk about. I mean, that's one thing, right? But now I read this thing, and I don't know if it's a movie or something out, and they're saying Abraham Lincoln was gay. I read the story, and there's this movie, and I mean, like, listen, is there anyone else the wacky left are going to attack? Any Republican, they call Trump everything in the book. They arrest him, impeach him, shoot him. They do everything to him. Now they're going back to pick on a president that's not here to defend himself, and saying that he was gay. And there's some D-rated movie, some bum movie. Salute talking about this, and I'm just shaking my head, going, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" You know, I'm starting to feel bad for Obama. First, he was the worst president ever in the history of the United States, which let Jimmy Carter off the hook. Then the title was taken away by Joe Biden, and of course that title could be taken away if Harris gets elected. And Obama was said to be the first gay president, and now they're looking to strip him of that title and give it to Abraham Lincoln. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the evidence is pretty flimsy. Apparently, he slept in the same bed as other men. That's their proof. Back in the day, there were no Holiday Inns or that kind of thing for people to stay at. When you're traveling in the country, you slept wherever you could rest your head. And in some of the littler towns along the way, all they had was a stable. Then you'd actually go and sleep on the straw. Right? I mean, it took a long time to get places, right? And even mattresses were like horsehair filled mattresses, not like the Posturepedics and Tempur-Pedic or whatever the hell they're called now. No, it wasn't like that. And it was a long way to go from place to place, and you didn't go in jets and these fast trains or anything like Rolls Royce cars. No, you went in on a buckboard style wagon or a stagecoach. And believe me, by the end of your trip for the day, you were beat. You didn't worry about anything except getting a bath because they're so dusty and all that, and some sleep. And a lot of times, there wasn't a lot of room, so you might have had to bunk with somebody else. It doesn't mean you're gay; it means you're tired. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen this movie. I just read about it. But Lincoln was married with children, which today apparently means little. I mean, look at Bruce Jenner. But I don't know how messed up we are today. Why are we picking on these old icons? I mean, what the hell does it mean if Abraham Lincoln was gay? I don't get it. I don't get why they're doing this. It's just crazy. Left-wing wackos going nuts again. Want to tear the statues down because he was racist. Yeah, Lincoln was a racist. We're tearing his statues down. Now they want to put it back up because he was gay. He was gay. He was celebrated. He was gay. We live in a wacky world. Tearing it down for racism, and then they're putting it back up because he was gay. I don't get it, but that's what's going on. I just tell you these crazy things. I don't know. It just blows my mind. And speaking of wacky worlds, the word is that the left-wing wackos aren't finished with Trump yet. There's a lot of people saying the one attempt on his life won't be the last, and that after tomorrow night, when Harris gets demolished in the debate, the left will be in panic mode, and as power slowly slips away, they're going to be looking to get rid of him. And they say, do not be surprised if there's another try in his life. They have no alternative. He's going to win this election. So now, having said that, we all have to be careful out there. Right now, there's a manhunt for a person that shot 9 people traveling on I-75 just south of Lexington, Kentucky. Why this guy was doing that is unknown. Why they gave him a gun in the morning? He bought an AR-15 in the morning with 2,000 rounds of ammunition. I mean, what the hell was this guy planning? And who was stupid enough to give a guy a gun without going through the proper checks? Doesn't make sense to me. So where'd he get it? Now, now we all have to be careful, though, because, I mean, these wackos are all over. The local police found a 20-year-old of Lebanese Syrian descent building improvised explosive devices in a residential neighborhood in Niagara Falls, just off of Beaver Dams Road. What the hell is that all about? There's no explanation why this kid was building these explosive devices or what his plans were to do with them. 20-year-old kid doing this, why would he be building bombs? Doesn't even make sense. I'm telling you. And then a 20-year-old Pakistani, another 20-year-old Pakistani living in Canada was arrested by police in Quebec. He was planning to cross the border into the U.S., head to Brooklyn, New York, and kill as many Jews as he could at a Jewish center. The man was a supporter of ISIS. His name was Muhammad Shazeb Khan. And this is the kind of stuff that's going on. These are the ones we catch. You got to remember, the FBI, CIA, Canada Secret Service, they all have to be right 100% of the time. Because if they're not, somebody gets shot. Whereas these terrorists only have to be right once. They only have to get through once, and they cause havoc. So this guy was going there. I mean, the U.S. is also looking at the northern border. I think you know that, right? Well, if you don't, they are. They're looking at the northern border because there's a lot of leakage of these terrorists in the United States. So they're not just looking at Mexico. They're looking at Canada, too. And they're going to deal with the borders because there's a lot of problems coming over our border, too. Then we go down over to Aurora, Colorado, where a Venezuelan gang, Trenta Aragua, allowed over the southern border by the Biden-Harris administration with their open border mandates, criminals that they let out of prison on amnesty because they want to let them be Americans, even though they're in jail for criminal acts now. They're there in Aurora, Colorado, taking over apartment complexes. Yeah, they're just busting down doors and taking them over. This drug cartel. It's unbelievable. And these are things that are really happening in real days. People shooting each other. People shooting a bunch of people, coming over the border to kill a bunch of people. And we've got 2 dates that are coming up that we got to watch. Number 1, September 11th. 23rd anniversary of the Twin Towers going down, the terrorist attack on the Twin Towers. Number 2, October 7th. October 7th. We got to watch that as well. Those 2 days are important. October 7th was the day of the 1-year anniversary of the Hamas-Israel war, when Hamas went over the border and slaughtered a bunch of Israelis and took 300 people captive, prisoners. That date's coming up as well. And I think this guy that went over to Brooklyn to shoot a bunch of Jews was going to do it on October 7th. That's what his plan was. So, I mean, the one good thing the U.S. has over Canada, if these guys really start acting up in all the cities, I mean, there's enough of them in the country right now to really cause some trouble, is that Americans are armed. 300 million guns in America with trillions and trillions of rounds of ammunition. They get too out of hand, they're going to have to deal with the people with guns. Canada, we can't say that. Guns are banned, so most people really can't protect themselves. If these guys go out of control, say they even just take the Niagara region, we don't have the ability to control it and deal with it. We'd have to call police in from all over the place. Well, the United States has people with guns. Yeah, they could take care of it. So it's a sobering thought that these gangs could actually take over pretty easy if they wanted to and cause a lot of trouble. I mean, you look around, all the people on the streets that you see walking the streets every day are men in their 20s and 30s, perfect age to fight. And they're here, and they don't like a lot of what we stand for, and we don't even know who they are. So watch for those 2 anniversaries. Watch after Trump wins this tomorrow night what happens when the Democrats go into full panic. And I don't know what to tell you other except be aware, be vigilant, know what's going on in your surroundings, and yeah, be careful out there. War in the Ukraine, war in the Middle East, no end in sight, and eventually bringing these wars to North America via sleeper cells is not some crazy conspiracy theory. These cells are man-funded and right here, right now, and more coming over the border as we speak, thousands. So you got to be aware. You got to be aware. You got to be vigilant, and we don't want their fight coming here, and that's the problem today. In the 40s, First World War, in the 20s, 1900s, and early 1900s and 20s, Second World War, First World War in the early 1900s, or 1918 or so. They didn't have the capacity to reach our shores in North America. Yeah, they took out Hawaii, but they weren't coming to the shore of the eastern or the western shore of USA. Nowadays, they have the ability with missiles and rockets and planes and everything else to get here. So anybody who's saying, who cares? They're fighting over there. What do we care about, the Ukraine or the Middle East? Guess what, Bubba? They have the ability to attack North America too. And that's why Trump wants to put an iron dome over North America. Well, United States, but we're going to be protected by it too, probably. But yeah, that's why they want to do that, because the ability for these dictatorships like North Korea to hit us, in Iran and some of these other places to hit us is not off the board. It's not an impossibility. We have to be aware that could happen. So it's going to be a real crazy end of this year and start of next year. We'll see what happens. If Trump gets in, I'm a little bit more optimistic. If it goes the other way, who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? So tomorrow's show, we are looking at the city council agenda. Dave Wheeler will be in the studio with me, and we're going to take a close look at it, tell you what's going on, talk about the planning matters, talk about these decisions. There's some budgetary stuff in there already, and we're going to be looking at that. There's an audit of 2022 finally done by Crawford Smith and Swallow, I believe, and that's in there. Good luck understanding it, but we're going to try to decipher some of it for you. And absolutely will be coming to you live from the studio at noon on Wednesday. All Habs, all show. Thursday and Friday, I don't have anything big planned yet, but as we move into the week after, I'm going to be doing shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday, I will be gone for 2 days. I'm going somewhere. I'm taking a break from it. And but I'll be back on the Monday. So anyway, everybody, thank you for listening, and I appreciate it. If you see the video, give it a like, thumbs up, hit the notification, subscribe, so you get notified when I post a video. This one should be up probably later on this afternoon. And yeah, we thank you. We thank you for listening in, and really appreciate it. I'm close to 50 subscribers now, and I mean, that's not a lot of people, but it's a lot more than I started with, and we've only been doing this. We've only had maybe a month of shows or so. Not that many shows on video, maybe more than a month now. But we're getting some subscribers. Tune in. It's about your city, your voice. We're gonna talk about different things. It looks like Lori Lococo's having another town hall meeting, which is fantastic. We can talk about that. I'm going to try to get Lori in here to talk about it, of course. So there's a lot going on, and you should be informed as we push towards the 2026 election. I know it sounds far off, but believe me, time flies. We're going to be doing the 2-year review of City Council, giving them grades, grading their effort, sitting at the big table on Queen Street. So lots of good stuff coming up, and we'll be here for it. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. The beautiful studios of 4680Q Radio. Listen in. Music all day on 4680Q, plus other talk shows. Yeah, there's other talk shows. Pat Porter's got a talk show. The Viz has got a talk show. She does it. Brandy's got a great talk show. So there's not just me. Look at the schedule. We got to post that schedule on 4680Q so you know what's going on. But otherwise, it's classic rock music all day. Listen to some great music, and the music is full blast. They don't cut anything out. It's not a shortened version. You get in and got a Davida at 20 minutes. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue in Niagara Falls. Check out Pete's Pizza, grab a pizza, and watch the debate tomorrow night. Take care. And there's my buddy Harold out there. Have a great day, everybody. Ciao, ciao.